So Hot Takes, the hottest sports betting podcast on the planet.
I'm Luke,
I'm Sam.
And I'm Sean.
and welcome back to Not So Hot Takes. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, follow the Twitter, Not So Hot Takes 2 underscores. Follow subscribe to the YouTube, Not So Hot Takes 2 S's. We're going to get right into it. It is Thanksgiving week, special week. Happy holidays to everybody out there celebrating Thanksgiving if we're from America. I know we have some Canadian. We have at least one Canadian listener, but
Sooks.
yeah. So yeah, shout out Sucro. We're gonna put this. We're also recording this on Tuesday, so there is a lot of stuff that could change and could vary here. But we're gonna give you out all the picks that we have so far, and just make sure you stay tuned to the Twitter and stuff to follow along. So jumping right into it. I'll go review my picks real quick from this week. NFL didn't do too hot. Ended up going 3-4 this week. My first one was I bet Pitt. I rode Pitt money line live bet with Sam. That one obviously took a L. I gotta stop joining in on picks where I just want to hang out with my boys and take the same picks, even though watching that game, Cleveland's defense was clearly all over them. And then I betted San Francisco plus 1.5, and this is where it got goofy. This was my lock of the week, as previously instated, and this was made prior to Nick Bosa being rolled out and Brock Purdy being rolled out and Kittle being rolled out, and I was under the assumption that all three of these guys were
Shanahan
playing.
Long
wasn't
story
ruled
short,
out.
we gave him a pass. Yeah.
I took an L on the record. I cashed out what money I could, and but we're still taking that L on the record. Then Lions Colts over 50.5. The overtrain for the Lions just finally came to a screeching halt. Still beat the shit out of the Colts, but just came to a halt. Bucks minus 5.5. Never a worry, never a doubt. Bucks are 1 legit. 2, the Giants are god awful. Then Panthers plus 10.5. Bryce Young's finally starting to take form here. Chiefs can continue not to cover those big lines. Got a little interesting. Then at Arizona, Seattle over 46.5. Took that late. If you saw the Twitter, you saw that, but hopefully you didn't follow it till that. No idea how James Conner only gets 7 touches for 9 yards. Kind of insane, and nobody could get the ball moving. And then to try to break the tie, I took a late play of Herbert under 262.5 passing yards. I believe he finished under 200. It was like 216 maybe.
Yeah,
212. Yeah, so not really. I know at halftime he was at like 118, so it wasn't really that too much of a sweat. But I got a little nervous when they were playing down. Thought they'd start passing a little bit more. But that concludes my NFL picks. Sam, Sean?
I'll hop into mine. I had Pittsburgh money line. Just a complete and utter disaster class. Honestly, I didn't mind losing. That was a beautiful game. I was like playing custom mode, making it a blizzard. You're playing with your brother at home. It was the best game to watch. Because we live bet it. I also lost on 3.5, so I had 2 losses to start the week. Ended 6-4 though. So from there we went 6-2. Minnesota, Chicago under 39.5. The script said it would have been perfect, but they decided to take it to 51 points. That kind of sucked. Tampa Bay minus 5.5.
So wait, you got the wrong script, buddy.
What do you mean, 27-24?
Wrong script.
What?
Oh, I got the wrong script.
You got the wrong script.
Well, I wrote the script, and they just didn't listen.
They they picked someone else's.
Yeah, Tampa Bay minus 5.5 was never a doubt. Baker Mayfield hitting the Danny DeVito. That was
brutal.
That was rude, man.
No, he said today that I'll go real quick. He said today it was like he likes his swagger. He met him at the Super Bowl last year, so it was a shout out to him.
Yeah, sure.
But
sure, it was when they're up by 20 points and he's going.
Miami minus
Baker
7.
Mayfield's so fun.
What?
Baker Mayfield's so fun.
He's
yeah.
awesome.
Oh yeah, I have no problem. I just think
He's like the Chandler of the NFL. He's just a showman. Miami minus 7, never a doubt either. Tua is scrambling more and more as the week goes on, and make me really nervous. Arizona, Seattle over 47.5. Let's just say that game went to 22 points. What would you say? 16-6. Ugly game.
6. Good golly.
Disgusting. San Fran, Green Bay over 47.5. Cash me, baby. Then we went to Philadelphia minus 3. I got it at 2.5 for my mortal, but I backed it up on 3 the next day. Never a doubt. One of the best teams in the league right now. Fun to watch. The teaser hit. Thank the Lord. I didn't want to put my own team in a teaser, but we took it. Who cares? And then Baltimore -3 again. Never really a doubt. I was a little. What's his name?
Quentin Johnson.
Yeah, he's
Johnson.
terrible.
Quentin
dude.
Dropston.
Dude.
Zero
first downs.
catches on
Pivotal-
my fantasy team.
Pivotal
5
first
targets.
downs too. Dude.
Oh, there's Weaver's fantasy shout out of the week.
Already, dude.
Right off the
Guys,
rip.
Happy
dude.
Thanksgiving, guys! You get a free fantasy shout out or fantasy update about the week. But yeah, 6-4 on the week. 2 bad beats, but it was with the same team, so I'm not worried about it. But the Mortal Lock also got to tune in 100% right now. Sean,
Yeah. Well, we went 3-2, but I'll start right off. I'll start with the negatives. The Mortal lost. That game blows me away, dude. I think I texted in our group chat. I was like, the line moves down 1.5 and the under's dead by halfway through the second quarter. It was unbelievable, man. Will Levis looking decent, man. He's not looking bad.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. But he looked really bad on that pick six. I will say that. That was pretty funny.
I can't tell if Will Levis looked that much better or if the Texans just aren't as good as we think that they are.
The Texans
Or a
are
little bit
not,
of both.
but I think it's more so their offense that's the problem.
Yeah.
I think Will Levis, look, compared to what we were expecting out of Will Levis, I think he looked a little better than we thought. I'll give him that.
Right.
Next, I had Indy +7.5 against Detroit. Their run game is a problem, man. Jonathan Taylor is nowhere to be found. He's on the side of the milk carton. But then those were our 2 losses, but we got 3 wins on the week. Should have started with this one, I guess. Thursday night, I had Cleveland +4.5.
did you say he's on the side of the milk carton?
Yeah, he's missing, dude.
That was a good one.
Missing.
Sorry.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
I was cracking up, dude.
it.
Just in case our viewers missed that, that was top tier.
This is why you tune in, man. This is why you tune in. Yeah, Cleveland +4.5. I got clowned on during the podcast. And I just want to say, I really got clowned on when I talked about the quarterbacks, and I think one of them outplayed the other one. Russell Wilson wasn't bad. He was pretty bad for the first half, but that's like fourth quarter. The snow started coming down, and he started turning up a little bit. But Jameis,
This
man,
was also the Browns Super Bowl, so this was the Browns Super Bowl.
Right?
This was their
shouldn't have bet the Steelers then, brother.
yeah.
But yeah, no, Jameis looking pretty good, man. They're still not great though. Once again, they're still banned in non-divisional games. But div games in the snow, they might be a wagon. Next up,
Football.
I had Green Bay -2.5. I took it when Purdy and all of them were playing. I know Weaver, you did too. That's why you got the unfortunate end of the stick. But I thought even if they were going to play, I talked about it on the pod. The matchup was there. They were playing at a higher level than San Francisco was, and then Purdy got ruled out. You never want to see that.
Jordan Love threw no interceptions, but he damn sure tried to.
Yeah,
a couple times.
he did.
He tried to.
Their passing offense is still playing at a pretty high level though. But it's easier when you have Brandon Allen. Shout out Arkansas.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah.
Literally legend, like the number 1 passer of all time. So even like better than Ryan Mallett, like these top teams ever that they had, like really good teams, and he's the all-time passer. Him and his brother Austin Allen.
He was on that play, the 4th and 20 something with the lateral. He was part of that, right?
25. Yeah, he tossed it to
Alex Collins.
Henry. He tossed it to Hunter Henry. He threw it. They called it the Henry heave, and then Alex Collins ran it.
Electric. But ended the week, Baltimore -3. The line moved down to 2.5 by game time on some books. I wasn't really sweating it. LA, they were a little. They came off that first half against the Bengals and then didn't look great in the second half. Baltimore played their Steelers ugly game that they play every year, and they always come off strong. I gave a bunch of trends on the Lamar side of things, and it happened. And then Justice Hill had like a 55-yard touchdown too. So if you can't stop Justice Hill, you're not going to be able to stop the Ravens. Period. Especially if your wide receiver 1 can't catch the ball.
All right, so we're gonna go into
Quentin Johnson can't catch it. That's why they will. Yeah,
Zay was kind of dropping passes at the beginning of the game.
He always drops some, but Quentin Johnson, he drops all.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's got bricks for hands, but that's atrocious.
Take us into it.
for sure. We're gonna go into Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. We have 3 games. First one, at 12:30. We have Chicago at Detroit. Detroit's -10. Over unders 48.5. I don't have anything in this game. I lean Chicago only because Detroit historically loses on Thanksgiving, and for some reason I don't think they're gonna be able to cover it. But I like the number where it's at. It's just gonna be a last minute decision on my part.
Incredibly ugly. This is the one where I was stay tuned on Twitter, because I might just go with the the Lions against all odds. Just stay tuned. It seems like one of those Thanksgiving ass kickings.
I think it was at -10.5, and it moved down.
It did move down.
Because you guys know me, I've faded the line. I think I've backed the Lions in one spot all year. It was that Dallas game, and it was a hammer spot. I put like 2.5 units on it. Yeah, we're at 20,000. No,
200,000.
but I've been kind of trying to find a spot to fade the Lions all year, and this is the first time in a while where I felt like I kind of like the Lions in this spot, and that scares me because that makes me think that this is the spot where they maybe don't pull away. But Chicago's off 2 really heartbreaking home losses against divisional opponents, and now you have to go play arguably the best team in the league on the road on a short rest. But it's also a lot of points. And I kind of like where the total's at because Chicago's such a wild card. So I'm probably just gonna stay away.
Yeah. Then we go to New York at Dallas at 4:30. Probably the last game that Dallas is going to be favored in this season. Dallas -3.5. Over under is 37.5. This is my gross pick of the week, I would say. I have the over in this game, over 37.5 points in this game.
Oh.
I think both of these offenses are mega ass, but I think this line is so low and it's a weird game and it kind of makes me uncomfortable. But I've seen this line like 8 times, and you would just be surprised how much tomfoolery needs just a little bit of tomfoolery needs to happen for this line to hit. So for whatever reason, I think Cooper Rush might throw some balls like he did against the Commanders, and hopefully both of these defenses just don't show up, and somehow Danny DeVito can scratch out 14 points and take us to the promised land.
I gotta call him Danny DeVito.
DeVito. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it went down to 37 on DraftKings. Dude, this is where you eat dinner at 4:00 and take a freaking nap after you stuff yourself with turkey. This is the nap game. 4:30.
That's when your family eats is 4:00.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. We're Italian. We eat early.
I think we eat early.
I'm like at 2:30.
Yeah, we're an earlier
like
eater on Thanksgiving.
Nah, dude. Every holiday is 3:30
Honestly,
or
it's stuff
4.
I don't eat anything. I might make the sandwich at night or something with all the other little.
I double dip
mixings
on the pie
in
later in
between
the
some
night.
pieces of bread. Yeah, 1,000%, 1,000%.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying. Bro.
You look like you really enjoy pie.
Thanks.
The Spadea family got the yams. They got the yams on tap.
Hell, dude. Oh yeah. Can we talk about this? I don't know how people eat. Oh, shut up. I don't know how people eat candied yams, like sweet potatoes with marshmallows on top.
I don't think I've ever had it.
Sweet potatoes are gas,
dude. That to me, that is the most psychotic thing I've ever heard of.
Sweet potatoes aren't
no,
bad.
That's a southern thing. That's a southern thing. Like a sweet
no,
potato.
I like sweet potatoes. I like yams. No, with marshmallows.
Sweet potato pie is gas.
I've never.
Yeah, well, sweet potato pie with a little marshmallow on top of it. Money.
Number one, I can do sweet potato like fries if you like season them well, but I've never been like a. What's funny about that?
We're talking nothing. We're just talking about Thanksgiving.
It's the Thanksgiving episode, man.
So Thanksgiving special.
I'm saying that's how I like sweet potatoes. Like
Right.
I've never been a big sweet potato guy like by itself.
Yeah, imagine baking them so
right,
they're kind of mushy and putting marshmallows on
Doesn't sound bad, actually.
Just while we're on the Thanksgiving topic and Thanksgiving games, just real quick, top 3 Thanksgiving foods.
Who's going first?
Thanksgiving foods.
Sam goes first. He knows his stuff.
I know he knows the food the best. Yeah.
All right, it's easy because it's the stuff you put in your body most. It's turkey, mashed potatoes, and stuffing. The original 3.
You're
the Holy
a turkey
Trinity.
over ham guy. You're a turkey over ham guy.
Absolutely, it's the
the
Holy Trinity:
Thank
turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, and the stuffing. It can't be crunchy, but it can't be like water. It's got to be right in the middle. Kind of like Stouffer's. I like consistency.
So I will go turkey in there only on. I'm a ham guy, preferably any other day besides Thanksgiving Day, but I like turkey. I like the dark meat. We do dressing like with cornbread and stuff like that's what in the South like this. It's stuffing instead of dressing, and then mashed potatoes is mashed potatoes is a top 5 food for me all time.
Yeah.
So that's up there for me. So I would have to get on board with that. But I would say probably ham, like a nice sugar, like a honey baked ham or like a sugar glazed ham, smacks. Especially when you put that thing in a sandwich.
Turkey.
That's a hot take. A hot take of mine. I'm not a huge ham guy.
I don't
I
really
love
like
ham.
ham.
I made one for our Friendsgiving the other night. It slapped.
You know what? Ham is good. The leftover. My dad makes ham, and then the next day he fries it up and makes sandwiches. That ham,
Yeah.
yes,
That sounds fire.
Gas.
yes.
Little ham and cheese action.
Yeah.
Oh, ham and Swiss, ham and pepper jack. Mmm. God, it's so good. Mmm.
So good and tasty.
anyways,
He hit me hard.
he assaulted me with that chicken. I ain't never seen him turn down chicken. Anyways, I would tune in to Twitter for this one as well because I might want to take the over because I'm saying both of these offenses are so damn bad in this Giants Cowboys game. I think we might see a defensive score, maybe 2 from a defense this game. That's how the Cowboys won their other game against Commanders. I mean, they jumped on Jaden Daniels' bad mistakes, and then the onside kick was bullshit. But besides that, their defense actually showed up for no reason.
Weaver, you said that's your gross bet of the week. I think this is also my gross bet of the week, but it's a different one. I took the Giants plus 3.5. I think
that's gross. That stinks.
it's gross, but I think I like how gross it is. Put that in.
But you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, put that in a t-shirt,
positions
man.
You know, put yourself in.
I like how gross it is, man. You know, maybe don't put that on a t-shirt.
Maybe not. Picture Diddy on it.
Okay, well, you and Diddy back again, I guess.
Sam loves Diddy.
He does a little too much.
I do not.
You can see you.
I did not have sex with that intern. Anyway, Giants plus 3.5. Dallas is a little overvalued after that Washington win. They lose that game without Kevontae Turpin with one of the most unbelievable kick returns I've ever seen. That spin move.
Yeah, that was the best.
The spin move was insane. So unnecessary that it became necessary because no one knew what the hell he was doing.
Do you think the meta for kick returns is you have to muff the ball first? Because that seems to be the play. Because every single time it gets muffed or like you let it go a little bit, it gives like the defense gets kind of like off guard and they get a little jumpy, and then all you got to do is hit them with one clean move out of there.
Yeah.
That spin was nasty.
It was nasty as hell. Nasty. But like I said,
that was a Quinshon Judkins spin at NCAA 25.
Yeah, not real life.
No.
But yeah, I think they're overvalued. They just beat Washington in a kind of a fluky game. They probably should have lost. That play at the end was unbelievable. And then Austin Seibert pulls you guys remember that clip of the Saints way back when they were trying to win to make the playoffs and they scored like a 4 lateral kick return, and then the guy misses the extra point. It felt like that, but a little less funny because it wasn't a 10-yard kick. But yeah, they're a little overvalued, and I think that I think New York's going to be able to run the ball better than people think. People forget how bad Dallas's run defense is just because they just beat Washington. It's still really bad. And Tyron Tracy's a pretty decent running back. I like him a lot.
He's a beast.
Out of Purdue. Played wide receiver in college, so I'm a sucker for those guys. Him, Isaac Guerrero. I don't know if I mentioned him on the pod, but
0 fantasy points last.
He is. Well, yeah, he's the third string. But I guess. Trust me, I'm on the Isaac Guerrero hype train. But yeah, I think Tracy will have a good game. I think Devin Singletary will have a good game. DeVito will have a game under his belt now. I don't know if he's going to carry him to a win, but I don't think he's much worse than Cooper Rush. Hell, I don't even know if he is worse than Cooper Rush.
Dude, they averaged 2.6 yards per play in the first half of that game.
Who?
The Giants.
Dude, did you watch Dallas the 2 weeks before the last one?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. They put up 24.
To be fair, the score was pretty high, but it was 10-9 going into.
That's what I'm saying. So I think that they can. Plus, it's a divisional game. I think the Giants. Dable's coaching for his life. I don't know if technically Mike McCarthy really is, and I don't even think he really cares. But I think Dable.
I don't think it's a Dabo. I don't think it's a Dable problem. I think it's whoever the GM.
For Joe Shane. Yeah, I don't think it's a Dable problem either. But I think he is coaching for his life still.
Right.
So I think they'll be able to run the ball. I think that their passing offense is comparable to Dallas's, and they have the better trench trench players on their defense, and their secondaries are maybe a little bit worse than Dallas, but I don't think this spread should be this big. I think this is more of like a 1.5, 2.5, but it's
Yeah,
it's a little too.
it feels like a pick 'em.
Yeah, I have it at like 0.5, but I also thought maybe that was a
Right.
little too close, but I don't think this is over a field goal game difference.
No. So then going into the next game at 8:20, Miami at Green Bay. Green Bay is -3.5. Over and is 46.5. This is another gross play, but I kind of like it. But it's against the grain. Is Dolphins +3.5, and here's why. It's the typical like cold weather. Are the Dolphins going to figure out the cold? Everybody thinks not. I think this Dolphins' team is different than years past. It's kind of been like this trajectory up, 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 cold games, and then they just fucking suck the rest of the year. They kind of were like, then just Tua got hurt and the whole team sucked. And then now it's kind of like they're coming back into fruition. They're getting frisky, playing spoiler, now contending for a playoff spot, to get in the playoffs. I think Miami comes out and at least keeps it close. I'm not saying they're going to come out and win, but I think they can keep it within a field goal game. And again, Jordan Love throws so many interceptions that who knows how it's going to actually end up playing out. I think that Miami has the offense to capitalize on any mistakes that he does happen to make. And he didn't throw any last week, but like we said, he definitely tried. He definitely tried to throw some. So that's how I think that's what I think. 3.5 Miami +3.5. Lock it.
3.5. I was looking at it as well. Do you have it? I might just take it.
Hold on, wait, real quick. The Dodgers just signed Blake Snell.
Holy shit!
5-year deal.
Things.
How much?
You think
150
Roki
million?
Sasaki then is?
182.
We don't have to get into the.
No,
Roki
yeah.
Sasaki's officially a Met.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's
just
move
go.
on.
Let's just move on. Save it for February or March. I really like Dolphins +3.5. They're kind of playing with their backs against the wall when the Packers can afford to lose 2 games.
I thought I was going to be sneaky here, and I thought at least one of you was going to fade Tua in 27-degree weather, but
Nope.
I guess maybe we're picking up on each other's habits here.
Maybe.
We're in our cycles are in sync. I took Miami.
Shout out women.
shout out to women.
We love women.
I got Miami +3.5 as well.
I love it.
I'll put it in threesome.
I think
putting it in
threesome,
right now.
baby. I love a good threesome.
I think
you can't be
my thing is that we've talked about. Well, first of all, my first thing is that I've talked about it all year. This Miami defense is still underrated. They generate pressure on the quarterback, and their secondary is pretty good.
Jalen Waddle's coming into form too.
He's been
kinda
playing
had his
really
best game of
well.
the year this
I've been
year.
happy with him.
Well, he had one good game. Let's be honest, but yeah, he's a great player. He's a great player. So I expect him to keep building on it, but it's not like he's going crazy. My thing is that another thing we've talked about all year is that this Miami team, they're not as explosive as they have been in the past. They're not throwing the ball down the field. What's been Tua's problem in these cold games? The downfield passes disappear. Well, they're not really there in the first place this year. They're getting their success through the passing games in different ways, and I think that it's something that they might be able to sustain in these cold weather games, which makes me think maybe that's why it hasn't been explosive, because McDaniel knows that it's not sustainable for a team like this, especially with Tua coming off all these injuries. Maybe that's a different game plan from the start, even in the warmer weather, and it lulled me to sleep thinking that their offense isn't as good. Maybe they're just playing it a different way. They've been dominating these not as good teams. I know Green Bay is really good, but Jair Alexander didn't play last week, and now it's a short rest in cold weather. He might not even play this week, and then you take their best corner away from trying to cover their still really strong wide receiver core. Over a field goal,
and
give me it.
And A-Chain looks really good too, so they can keep that ball on the ground if they need to.
Yeah, it's just a shame that like every time they give someone else a carry, it's terrible. Because I'm also a Jalen Wright truther, and he has not been very effective. But he will come around. He's on my dynasty team. He's on all. Well, he was on all my teams. I dropped him on the other. Anyway, let's move on.
All right, going into the Black Friday matchup, Las Vegas at Kansas City, 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Kansas City -12.5, over under 42.5. I'm gonna keep riding it. I got Vegas +12.5. Chiefs continue to not be able to cover those big lines. I mean, you would have thought that they would have broken that trend last week, like, oh, it's Carolina, whatever else. We saw Carolina get 5 sacks on them. countless quarterback pressures. Max Crosby's going to have a field day on Friday. That I would say out of a Kansas City team that everybody's kind of saying like they're not as good as whatever, like they're still really good. They're still Kansas City, but their offensive line is struggling right now, and I think that that's going to be a problem with Las Vegas. I know Pacheco's coming back this week, but I don't know how much of a factor that's going to play in. But I'm still taking. I'm gonna take. This might be the only time I bet Raiders all year. I have not bet the Raiders at all this year. This is the first time, so I'm taking them plus 12.5. Hopefully, they don't get banned after one bet.
Well, dude, I love that pick. I want to talk about this a lot. I love the Raiders here. Okay, the last time they played, I think it was within 7, 8 points. Last game they
I don't know.
played.
The line was at like 10.5 yesterday. It moved like two points in a day.
Did
It was
they
like
play
10.5
this year
yesterday.
already?
2
I
days
think
ago.
they played. Luke, can you look up if they played this year? I think they have.
I mean, they
beat.
they won in Kansas City last year.
I know, but they
They
played this year
played.
already, and it was
They
a good
played
game.
at Las Vegas and won 27-20. So it was a
7-point game.
touchdown last.
Look, in Las Vegas, they're a sleeper team, dude. They've had a ton of issues.
But
I think no, stop. Not a sleeper team. Not meaning like good, but I'm saying like they're not as shitty as we think. They're not Panthers, who just had a 3-point game against the Chiefs. Chiefs are ranked 14 in overall offense and 12 in the pass, which is what the Raiders, that their defense loves. Their defense plays a good pass defense. I don't see Kansas City running the ball down their throat. And Las Vegas can throw the ball a little bit. They're ranked 15, whether that's them trailing behind most times. I really like the Raiders in this spot. I think 12 is way too many. And I will tell you, they're one leg in the teaser at plus 18. So
I will also say Hawk smiling, but I know that Desmond Ritter is playing quarterback.
No, it's
I
Aiden
know that Desmond
O'Connell.
Ritter is playing quarterback. Aiden O'Connell's back.
Mhm.
I know Desmond Ritter was slated to start yesterday whenever I was listening to him, but I guess Aiden O'Connell's back off IR.
Let's be honest. If you were going to power rank Minshew, O'Connell, Ritter, really putting it in that order to me.
I mean, yeah, but I would put Minshew to Ritter is a big difference, but O'Connell to Ritter is not a big difference.
Yeah, but O'Connell is better. Here, I lean the Chiefs. I think O'Connell they're just throwing him back in there.
Yeah.
And I think how many of these Chiefs spreads, like huge spreads, have been back to back? Maybe I'm mistaken because I don't have any stats.
The past two, they were monster favorites. Or no, what were they? Never mind. It was Broncos.
Yeah, that was like 7.5.
Yeah. It was 8.5.
Yeah, I took it too. I can't even. And this feels like a spot where Kansas City's like, fuck it, man. Aren't we the Chiefs? And just comes out and like kind of, I won't say that. Kind of just beats the brakes off of them. I've not been high on this Raiders team. I will say your point about them getting pressure on Mahomes is valid. And Max Crosby's always been a problem for Mahomes because he gets in his head and then Mahomes starts like whining. But this
He's
Vegas,
gonna ask the refs to tell him whenever he's getting close. Probably.
yeah, he's like, oh, he elbowed me. Oh, wah, 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 wah.
he tackled me, ref.
All right. He keeps grabbing me.
He touched me. He touched me.
You just say we're not doing that. We're gonna say we're not doing that today. We're not doing that today, and then they'll hug and kiss on the sideline, and then it'll be well.
But I like this spot for Kansas City. Close loss on the road, come back home, play a Raiders team who still can't run the ball. I'll keep bringing it up every single week.
I mean, Amir Abdullah was tearing it up. Was tearing it up last week.
I don't care.
Nebraska legend Amir Abdullah.
Yeah, he had that crazy touchdown against McNeese State, and everyone gasses him up, and then you realize it was against McNeese State.
Yeah.
But I just think this is a spot where they get right, and O'Connell makes a bunch of mistakes. And I think an underrated part of it is that revenge factor of losing that home game to the Raiders last year. I think they're going to come out with a vengeance and really want to beat the absolute living crap out of this team. So I'm leaning them, but 12's a lot, and that pressure point that you made is keeping me on my toes. My feet are warm, but they're not warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, just with Patrick Mahomes having to scramble as much as he does, I don't think it works as much in his favor now with not having Rushy Rice still available.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he really has, besides maybe Kelsey running a route that wasn't even written in a playbook just to find some open space, or
Yeah.
Noah Gray possibly.
Him and Hopkins
He doesn't seem like
have
he's
been
doing.
better though. Like their offense wasn't
Yeah,
bad against Carolina until like the last 3 drives where they tried to get too cute and they
right.
couldn't put the game away.
Yeah. But all right, moving into Sunday, Sunday, 1 o'clock. We have the Chargers at Atlanta. They have Chargers currently set at -2.5. Over under is 47.5. I don't have anything in this game. I don't really know how I'd want to bet this game, so I'm just kind of gonna. I think there's a lot better games on the slate than this for me to spend my money on.
Yeah, I agree. I would just say that I think the Chargers are still on the up and up. Their offensive performance, excuse me, how many points they scored against the Ravens didn't really reflect how they've been doing on offense. That's why this total is 48. I mean, I think this total should be a little higher, in my opinion. Um, but I don't know. The only thing I would lean towards is probably over 48, and I do like the Chargers in this spot. I think the Falcons might have been fraud.
Very interesting to me. The stats or like my model thing, it's nothing's official, but it spits out like a pick 'em at me, and it that doesn't really compute in my head because it feels like
I feel like the Chargers should blow them out.
it feels like
the
that should
Chargers blow
happen.
them
It
out.
feels like they should be able to slow down Atlanta's passing attack and just slow down their offense to get like stop the run game and make Kirk beat you and then slow that down. And then their offense should just be able to manhandle the front seven of Atlanta. That's what it feels like to me. But
Is it because is J.K. Dobbins hurt still? I know he got hurt in the last week game where he's still ruled out. I know it's only Tuesday, but
I don't know if that matters that much. I mean, is he that big? Is Gus Edwards that big of a downgrade for that offense? Plus, I like
I
Kamani
would think
Vidal.
so. I would think so.
Yeah, I get it. I
J.K.'s had a
get it.
great year.
I get it. But it's just, I think it's all about how effectively Atlanta can run the ball. If they can effectively run the ball, I think they're going to win this game. But I just don't see a world where Bijan and Aljair both run for 100. But I'm probably going to end up staying away. This game, I don't know. Maybe the over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Then we're gonna go to another 1 o'clock game. Maybe one of the weirdest lines I would say of the week is Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Cincinnati -3. Over unders 46.5. Pittsburgh being the underdog in here seems kind of wild to me, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't. I think everybody's kind of realizing that Cincinnati is one of the best offenses in the league, and they just aren't getting any real help on defense. Pittsburgh coming off of a tough loss. I don't really know. I'm gonna wait and see if there goes half a point either way. I think if I get 3.5, I'm probably gonna go Pittsburgh plus 3.5. I think if it jumps down to 2.5, I'm probably gonna take Cincinnati just to try to stay away from that push. But and also 46.5 seems kind of low, but then again, it is a divisional matchup, 1 o'clock, kind of goofy, but
I'll just come out of the gate and say Cincinnati -3. Cincinnati is the best passing offense in the league. Number one, they've been ranked number one for a couple weeks now. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. The defense is a little bit of a letdown, but the Steelers team, I don't know if they ran into mistakes or they're just simply slowing down a little bit. I know against Baltimore they didn't score a lot, only 6 field goals, and then against the Browns, I know it was insane weather, but like I mean, I hate to say it, but James didn't have a problem with the weather. He had what, 3 passing touchdowns?
He had a rushing touchdown.
A rushing and 2 passing, so
Yeah.
he played fine in the blizzard. Okay, of course that's a crazy factor, but Pittsburgh has holes in their secondary, huge holes. Like we said, chink in the armor, and they're getting exposed now. And who's better exposed to that is Burrow. I mean, Jamar Chase had 3 touchdowns against the Ravens, who we said their secondary was ass, and he walked in there and torched them. I think this is going to be the same story. I have -3 Bengals. If the Bengals defense can somehow get a stop or two, or if the Bengals just have a couple more explosive plays, then it's got Bengals written all over it. Because the Steelers are just going to try and slow this game down and run, but you can't do that when you have Jamar Chase and I mean Gesicki, or not Gesicki, excuse me, Jamar Chase, and is Higgins back?
Yes.
Yeah, Higgins is playing.
Yeah.
Higgins was back the
You-
last game.
Jamar and Higgins out in the field against a shitty secondary. I like them.
I don't have a pick in this game. I think I say that literally every week about the Bengals.
Yeah, let's go. We get it. We gotta give you your Bengals time though. I'll get my Bengals time. Sam gets his Eagles times. I get my Saints time.
I'll keep it short. I mean, off the bye week, so I kind of forgot about how it is to actually care about one of the games. I had fun like just being all loose and whimsical this weekend and being like, oh, no pain is coming
Yeah.
at the end of the week. Um,
Would you say you won the bye week?
I don't know, man. It might have tied.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll give us a tie because
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care how much do you care about this game?
how much do I care about this game? 10, which is bad.
Isn't playoffs on the line? They can
Right.
still control their fate.
Yeah, I mean they can't win. They can't lose another game.
Like if they lose another game, it's like you need a lot of help. They need help if they win out. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I think having the bye week was bad, just because I'm like, oh, okay, they just need to win out, and look at the schedule; it's not that bad.
It's sports though. This is sports. This is
real life.
Sports fandom at its finest. Yes.
Yeah, but look, they don't match up terribly. If Pittsburgh's going to be able to run the ball because we can't stop a nosebleed in the run game still. Hopefully this team is getting healthier. They still need everything that they've needed all year. I don't think Alex Highsmith's going to play, which is still a big loss for Pittsburgh. I mean, TJ Watt with him on the field is arguably like top 2 in the world. With him off the field, the talent's there, but you can do so many more things in slowing him down because you don't necessarily have to. Even though Nick Herbig has been playing well, but Highsmith is one of the more underrated edges in the league. So against our offensive line, I don't know if Orlando Brown's going to play. Maybe if he does, that's a huge guy to get back. And coming out of the bye week, you hope he does play because they didn't. They were talking maybe he plays last week, so that would be a huge get. Because Cody Ford, who didn't play that bad last time we played, but he's still Cody Ford, man. Like this isn't a superstar that's going to slow down TJ Watt. He's going to eat him for lunch and then throw him out and then shit him on your doorstep and leave him in a plastic bag. But
I mean, you'll probably see his ex-girlfriend post about him on TikTok.
yeah, dude, like she was like at the Bengals Chargers game. What are we doing, man? Like Jesus Christ. I won't comment on it besides that, but like, good Lord, man. Hopefully they win. Yeah,
that'll be fun. Then we go into our next 1:00 game: Arizona at Minnesota. Current line is Minnesota -3.5. Over under is 45.5. I don't have anything in this game. It feels like Arizona's kind of the right side of the fence here, but at the same time, I don't really know how you defend Minnesota because the Bears kind of figured out you can shut down Justin Jefferson, but then Jordan Addison still exists. So I don't really know. I don't know how to play this out.
I mean, I think it's the same the other way too. The Cardinals just scored 6 points this past week against Seattle, who's not really. I mean, San Francisco was shorthanded and still scored what 24, 20.
Seattle's defense is very underrated.
I know it is, but that's what I'm saying. Arizona at full health and San Fran shorthanded. San Fran scored 20 plus points on Seahawks defense. They scored 34 points early in the year against the Seahawks defense. Like, I don't know about this Arizona team. I don't know about the Minnesota team. Tune into Twitter because I am looking at the under. Because if Arizona just repeats what they just showed, then this game will be like 20-10, 21-10, something low.
I lean Minnesota just because I think they'll just shut down Arizona's run game, which is hard to believe. But I mean, Minnesota's run defense is, I guess it's underrated because statistically it's like the best in the league. So I don't see a world coming off a game like that where you're like, all right, we're going to rely on our run game this time, and then try to do it against the best run defense in the league. But I don't want to bet on Minnesota right up off of Arizona's worst game. It's like betting on a team based off their worst game of the entire season. It's like you're not as bad as your worst game. You're not as good as your best game. It's not a great spot. It's not a great spot for really either team. Because I don't really want to bet on a bounce back for Arizona against one of the better defenses in the entire league. So it's probably a stay away spot for me. Maybe, I mean, Arizona's defense has been playing a little bit better recently, like actually really well. Besides, I mean, even last week they weren't that bad. So underrated defense, even though I don't think it's that talented, they've been playing well. So maybe an under spot, but we'll see.
Yeah. Then we got Next 1 o'clock game, we have Hawk's favorite team to bet on, the Indianapolis Colts, versus his least favorite team to bet on, the New England Patriots. They have Indianapolis minus 2.5, over under is
Immovable
42.5.
force.
I don't have anything in this game, but I could somewhat, for whatever reason, see the Patriots taking this game outright. I think Drake May is starting to kind of settle in a little bit. He's starting to look a little bit better. I think the Colts are still buns, only scoring 6 this past week. I mean, I know they played the Lions, but their offense still doesn't look great.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm looking at plus 2.5. It's at plus 100 right now. That's value. If you don't have balls, I'm gonna leave the points at the door. I'm taking New England money line. I think this is a good spot for them. The Colts, they're kind.
It's a sprinkle. It's not a full face bet.
It's a sprinkle, but it's money line. I really like New England in the spot. They're showing a little bit of promise with Drake May. The Colts. I mean, one good week from AR, and then they go back to being the Colts. I just don't trust that team, especially on the road. I'm taking New England money line straight up.
This game makes me want to throw up. Like I put it into my model and it spit out pick'em, and I like threw up in my mouth. God, dude, like if the Colts had any sort of, if Jonathan Taylor would just show up, man, like I'd be all over him. But it's just not there right now. It's crazy. I don't think Richardson played that bad against the Lions. I know maybe a hot take because they only put up 6 points, but they were getting after him, dude. I don't think they sacked him, but I saw they pressured him on like 48% of his dropbacks. Like they were just getting after him. I don't know. I don't think New England will. And I thought Indianapolis had a good O-line. It's not playing at that high of a level right now. This game, oh God, 2 of my favorite quarterbacks to watch right now, though. I will say that. So that's fun.
Yeah.
But everything else makes me want to.
Then we'll go to the next 1 o'clock game if Hawk doesn't have anything else to say about that horrendous game.
Oh, please move on.
Seattle at New York Jets. They have Seattle minus 241.5 as the total. Am I crazy, or do I think Seattle's just going to donkey stomp the Jets? Like, what do we like?
Dude,
why does 2 points seem crazy?
I'm not.
Why does 2 points seem crazy as hell?
It's gross,
dude. I'm not trusting this game with a 10-foot pole. The only thing that is intriguing is over 41.5, because I think the Jets are capable of scoring like 17 points against Seattle, and Seattle only has to score I think they can score 30 on the Jets. I'm staying away. I don't like.
So it made me kind of want to yak. I put it in my model. It spit out Jets -1. I don't know if that makes you guys want to throw up as well. But how can you bet on this Jets team right now when there's stories going around that Aaron Rodgers wants to play next year, but not for the Jets? And they're like, he might get benched.
He's going to be a giant. He's going to be a giant,
so,
man.
like,
I'm telling you.
These guys don't want to play for him. Well, maybe they do because he brought them all there.
He did.
So he's just going to bring Devontae to the to the Giants.
He'll bring Randall Cobb back from the dead too.
Yeah.
This game, like my first thought was Seattle -2, huh? But there's should be able to run on Seattle a little bit. The run game has been disappointing, but like Seattle's run defense isn't that great. Where Seattle strives is when they can get you behind the sticks and they can get after your quarterback. And their really athletic cornerbacks can just stick to your receivers. But like Devin Witherspoon. First of all, Devin Witherspoon, holy hell, what a player, dude. He is a freak of nature.
Right.
But I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it. It's gross.
Yeah. Then we're going to go into our second to last 1 o'clock game. Tennessee at Washington. Washington is -5.5, over under is 44.5. I have another gross pick in this game. I have the under 44.5. I mean, I think the Titans are starting to get some shots off here, but I think the Commanders are just going to slide hard still. I mean, the Commanders they were playing well above their heads for the first 9 weeks of the season, and now they're kind of starting to be like, okay, this is what a rookie quarterback looks like. This is what a pretty mid team looks like. And I just don't think either of these teams are going to put up points. But then again, I also see a situation where, like last week, this hits at halftime. Like it's,
Yeah, trust me, it sucks.
I don't know. Is Marshawn Lattimore? Is he playing this week? I don't think so. I
Probably
mean, this
not.
is the third week he just got traded, and this is the third week in a row that he hasn't played. Yeah, I'm picking the under. I think the under is the best play in this game. I don't like 5.5 by any team. I don't think that's a gross number. So yeah, I like the 44.5 better, which is also still kind of a gross number. It doesn't really cover any of those major combinations, but I like that play. I like that play out of a lot of the strange board that we had this week.
And I agree. I was leaning Titans plus 5.5, just because I think Jaden Daniels, he's hitting his rookie quarterback time of the year. Against Dallas, the only reason they scored points late, I mean, there was 41 points, almost the entire total was scored in the last 5 minutes of that game. 41 points. And that was just due to a hurry up offense with big chunk plays against a bad defense. A bad defense that played well all day, but they're up by 2 scores. They're like, oh, we got this in the bag. There's 3 minutes left. They fall asleep a little bit, and it's almost tied. I think the under is the right play as well, Luke. I'm with you on that. But I stay tuned on Twitter, because do not be surprised if I take Titans plus 5.5. Because they have a better defense, way better defense than the Cowboys, and the Cowboys held them to 10 points by the end of the game? 6 points before they scored?
This game's hard for me because, like you said, Tennessee's defense is one of the better ones. I mean, Washington against really good defenses, they haven't been great. I mean, you saw them against Philly. It wasn't. It was kind of ugly. It wasn't even great against Dallas last week, and now they have to go play Tennessee, who's an underrated defense. But at the same time, you could say, oh, buy low, sell high spot, because Washington's playing their worst football, and Tennessee just covered the spread for the second time all year. Do you really think they're going to do it twice in a row? So yeah, this number's too gross for me. I'm probably just going to stay away, because even the total, it's like I would say I lean under, but then again, Will Levis could just throw 2 pick sixes, and all of a sudden it's over.
Right. He's gonna have a Will Levis moment like he did last week.
Yeah, it's a matter of if he catches him before the end zone.
Right. So then we're gonna go to our final 1:00 game. Houston at Jacksonville. Houston -5 over under is 43.5. I don't like anything in this game. I'm staying kind of far and away because I don't think Houston's as good as everybody thinks they are. But then again, the Jags are just so bad that if Houston just had a little bit of capability on offense this year, then it would definitely be over a touchdown. So I just don't really know how to play this.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm staying away from this, but a little more research. I'm going to dive into it a little bit tomorrow, because I do think the Texans -5 is the right side, especially with this just dead Jaguars team. That's all I got.
T-Law is probably going to play this week, right? I'm pretty sure they said he'll be playing out of the bye.
Let's.
He tore his.
No. I'm pretty sure Doug Peterson.
Trevor Lawrence, Jaguars, or QB returning to practice, but status for week 13 uncertain.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure it was probably, I think it was like the week.
He had an AC joint sprain.
Right after they got steamrolled by Detroit. Peterson said Lawrence was hopefully coming back out of the bye, or maybe he said probably, but he probably didn't mean it. With T-Law in this game,
to practice yesterday, but
yeah, with T-Law in this game, it throws a wrench, and this line makes me think that they think he's going to play, because with Mac Jones in, I think Houston's like 7.5-point favorites in a game like this. Jacksonville's pass defense is really bad, but Houston's offense was so bad against Tennessee, man. Oh my God. Like so bad by every metric.
It's so clunky.
Like really, really bad. They should not have, 27 points. They had the pick 6 by Will Levis. Will Levis threw another interception, I'm pretty sure. CJ Stroud, man, what the hell is going on with that guy, man? He looks like a shell of himself. Nico Collins comes back and he arguably looks worse. I can't believe it. But yeah, this game's too gross for me. It's a lot of gross games. Not necessarily bad, but just the spots and the teams facing off against each other, the matchups, it's just kind of gross, man.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, we're going to move into everybody's favorite game.
My
I will say,
Lord.
I am 99% positive that one of these games is the most expensive game of the year.
Of the year.
And I want to say one of these games is one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest games of the year.
Sunday, Sean. What are you doing Sunday,
No,
Sean?
we're not doing this shit again.
Can I use my guess? Hawks,
I
New
mean,
York
if you want
Jets.
to, that's not it.
Is it
No.
close?
Kind
Oh, we're
of,
doing
not
cheapest
really.
first?
I mean, kind of. It's $34 to go
Oh,
to
never
that
mind.
game.
Fuck that. I'm
And
not
it's
paying
up.
$34 to watch Aaron Rodgers want to go play for the Giants next year.
The cheapest?
They are $1 difference. These two games are
Wow.
a $1 difference.
Jacksonville, Houston.
Actually, the bottom three games are the bottom three games are all within $1 of each other.
Jacksonville, Houston.
That is the second most cheapest for $16.
$1. Oh!
What does that have to be? This one then, you think?
The other game is $15, and there's another game that's $17.
It might be that one, but I have a second guess if you're wrong.
No, this is a combined guess.
I know, but I just want to shoot one out after.
I'm just gonna
You
say,
can do that one.
is it Carolina, Tampa Bay?
That is the third cheapest at $17.
What are you doing Sunday?
I'm just gonna throw this out there because I want to know, and then you can tell us. But don't tell me it's New England, Indianapolis.
New England. It is not.
Oh,
No,
thank
it is
God,
not.
dude. Because
What
I
is
would have
it?
had to drove up. I would have had to drive up to Boston to go watch that game myself.
How much is that ticket?
That is $57.
All right, tell us.
The cheapest game is the Los Angeles Rams at the New Orleans Saints for $15.
Oh, poor guy.
All right, most expensive.
Most
Expensive of the year.
It might be the most expensive of
Baltimore,
the year.
Philly.
Any other guess from Sam?
I mean, I'll just throw it out there because I think he's right. There's Buffalo, San Fran.
That's the other one I was looking at.
It is not. The most expensive is Philadelphia at
that
Baltimore
was
for
my
a
guess,
whopping $308.
Yeah,
is the
because it's
cheapest
close to Philly, so they're gonna travel. But then Baltimore fans are gonna try to buy it before
It's
they can.
also the two this is a potential NFC Championship matchup.
No, it's not. It would be Super Bowl.
They're in the AFC. The Ravens. Are you
I'm
stupid?
dumb. I'm so stupid. Yeah, potential Super Bowl matchup.
But he's got Auburn.
The
upside down on
second,
his head, though.
the second most expensive is Chicago at Detroit for $206.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So $100 difference. So as we talk about the cheapest game of the week, hopping into Rams at New Orleans. Rams minus 2.5. Over under is 49.5. I am betting this at under 49.5 in this total. I think that the Rams defense is terrible and the Saints defense is somewhat mediocre. And I think that the under is the right move. And I think a lot of the sucker pick is going to be the over because you're going to think, oh, both of these defenses suck, but the Saints secondary actually is not terrible. And neither Saints aren't going to score any points. If the Rams do score points, it's not going to be anywhere close to 50. So
I think this is your third straight Saints under.
no, the last time I picked the Saints was I picked the Falcons -3 against the Saints.
Yeah,
yeah.
the Saints dog
Well, I
walk.
mean,
I think you've at least had a bet in the
I
Saints
picked the
game.
under as my. I had a mortal, and then when they played that Falcons.
Yeah,
that hit.
you've had a bet in like every Saints game. It's kind of funny.
It's atrocious, but
because I won't bet if I think that the season's not over.
Yeah.
But I think the season's over and it's been over, and I'm gonna keep. So I'll bet on. I'm not. So I'll bet on them.
yeah. I think there's only one right side here. It's Rams -2.5. The Saints can only run on luck for so long. I know the Rams have a little bit of trouble in defense, but this is the ultimate get right spot against New Orleans. I don't even think you have to think much about it. I think Puka and Cup will both have a touchdown here, and Kyron Williams. Throw it in a parlay. Rams -2.5.
But it might be my mortal. I've been between two. I have two more picks, and one of them has to be my mortal. I'll do the other one. I got Rams -2.5 as well. I think the Saints' run defense is terrible, and so I think Kyron will be able to run the ball, and that will open up. I know that, like you said, the Saints' secondary it's not terrible. It's definitely not the worst part of this football team.
No.
But I think that being able to run the ball consistently. Look, I had this thought during the Sunday night game. I think Kyron Williams might be the most overrated player in the NFL. I don't think he's that great of a running back, but I think this is a good offense for him. And I think this is a very good defensive matchup for him and for this offense. So I think he'll be able to run the ball and open up that passing game. And how did Philly beat LA's how did Philly's defense slow down LA's offense? They got after Matt Stafford. They got after him like crazy. The Saints, not nearly as good of a pass rush as Philly, especially not how they're playing right now.
Mario Davis wants to give up. Cam Jordan's 50 years
Yeah,
old.
like
Chase Young's 50.
it's not the worst in the league, but like Philly, like especially with Brandon Graham, I know he got hurt, but when he was playing, he was like having the game of his not of his life. The Super Bowl is probably the game of his season. I'll say that he did not look like however old he is. He's very old, but he was getting after the quarterback. Carter was getting after the quarterback. Milton Williams was getting after the quarterback. The Saints don't have that. So I think that they'll be able to run the ball on him. They won't be able to get after Stafford like they want to. It's going to open up down the field to Puka, open up on these crossing routes, those dig routes that Cooper Kupp loves to run. And I think they'll be able to put up points that to pull away from New Orleans, who's still, I know they're off the bye, but they're still depleted. And 2.5 is too low.
So then we're going to roll into the next 4 o'clock game. Tampa Bay at Carolina. Tampa Bay minus 6.5. Over under 46.5. I took Tampa Bay minus 6. As much as I've been saying, Bryce Young is coming into form, and the Carolina still kind of looks good. I think the Bucs are still going to win the South. I've been saying that for the past 2 weeks. They had a really tough schedule with no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. Mike Evans is back. They look a lot better. I know they played the Giants last week, but I just don't think that I think Carolina's going to kind of come back down to earth a little bit after that, tough loss against the Chiefs. And Tampa Bay takes care of business in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I also took the Bucks minus 6. I think, like you said, Carolina's going to come back down to earth, and it's not even like they played their damn best football to the bone, and then they walk away and like, damn, we still can't beat a team when we put our all out there. Baker's rolling. I agree with you. They're going to win the South. I like them in this spot minus 6.
Yeah, my mortal's in this game, so I'll save it for the end.
All right.
Spoiler: it's not a threesome. I will say that. That's the spoiler.
It's definitely an over under.
It's not. It's
definitely
not
the under.
You don't know anything. I love me some Bryce Young.
Yeah. So then the last 4 o'clock game, which arguably should be flexed into the Sunday night football game, is Philadelphia at Baltimore. Baltimore's minus 3 over under 50.5. I have a mortal in this game, so I'm not. I don't. So I'm gonna wait for that.
I think it's a good spot for Philly. I mean, you're just playing solid football all around. Baltimore's kind of like, oh crap, we see a good defense and now we don't know what to do. Philadelphia is the best ranked defense since week 5. This team has really figured it out, and they're kind of in the not going through the motions, but when Philadelphia plays good, it looks like they're not even using their heads out there. They're just playing football. It's actually really fun to see. I'm not like I hate to sound like I'm bragging. It's a fun team to watch. Finally. So I think they have no thoughts in their brain. There's no worries. There's no, oh God, it's the Ravens. I think they're just showing up and trying to kick ass. You saw Ravens run into the Steelers, and I know it's Tomlin, but like, you score 15 points when you're the best offense in the entire league. I took Eagles plus 3, and I have a mortal in this game as well.
Favorite matchup for Philly? I don't have a play in this game, and I don't really have a lean either. But this is a different matchup for Philly than what we've seen. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but this feels like this has to be the best rushing team that they've faced all year. It's a different kind of offense that they faced. Philly really, like I just mentioned with LA, they excel when they're getting after the quarterback and they're letting their uber talented young cornerbacks make plays down the field. That's not how the Ravens are going to try to beat you. They're going to try to pound your skull in and throw little seam routes to their tight ends, and Lamar is going to do superhuman plays running away from your pass rush. And then on the other side of the ball, you got the best or top 3 rushing defense in the league against Saquon. We haven't seen him against one of the better the run defenses in the league. It's just an interesting game for me. I'm not even like, it sounds like I'm trying to say, oh, Baltimore's going to win this game, because it's just that I'm saying Philly's playing at such a high level right now, and I've been saying that they were undervalued. They were undervalued. Their defense is like arguably best in the league. They're undervalued. I wouldn't say they're undervalued anymore. I mean, they just did it on the biggest stage, and now they come back on the road to Baltimore, tough place to play. But they're playing high level football right now, man. Yeah, but it's tough. It's tough. Baltimore's still really damn good, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Then we're gonna go into Sunday Night Football. San Francisco at Buffalo. Buffalo's catching. Sorry, but they got Buffalo -7. Over under is 44.5. Don't have anything in this game. I'm leaning Buffalo because 49ers just look like a shell of themselves this year. That it's kind of the season from hell for these guys. So I don't really know. I would like to see it go down to 6.5, but I doubt it will. I think if anything, it's going to go up to like 7.5.
It's at 7 right now, you said?
Yeah.
Sam?
I really do like the Bills -7 in the spot. I might go around and take them. I think they're just going to kick the 49ers ass, just like the Packers did. But this will complete the teaser I have in for the week. I've got Buffalo -1, Eagles +9, and Buccaneers even as a pick 'em. I might have misspoke earlier at the +18. That might be another fun teaser I might put out on Twitter. That's a teaser for this week. I feel really confident about the Eagles, and you're giving me 9 points against the Ravens. I really like it. Buccaneers should win that game outright against the Panthers, and the Bills -1 against San Fran. Again, they should win that game. I feel like this is a very, very happy, safe teaser unless something drastic happens in that Eagles game.
So according to Sam, follow the Twitter because he might have a play in every single game.
I might put a second teaser in for fun.
Yeah, but you said follow the Twitter on every game.
I really like the slate this week. I think it's really see-through.
I feel the opposite.
It's always those weeks where you think it's see through, and then you get.
I feel
absolutely
completely the
skull
opposite about this slate.
Now.
I think this game is priced pretty fairly. Quarterback, now he has a full week under his belt. It's like Kyle Shanahan is not a doofus. I know that Brandon Allen isn't all that talented. No offense, but I think we can say that with confidence. But Shanahan will be able to scheme some stuff out. He turned Brock Purdy into what people were calling an MVP contender. So, like, I'm not saying that they're the same, but Brock Purdy went with the last pick in the draft. So, like, I'm saying he could take what others may not see as a superstar, and he could turn it into competent quarterback play, especially if Kittle's back this week. But at the same time, in Buffalo, late night, it's going to be cold. How much does San Francisco even care at this point as well? Like, do they think is there a shot? First of all, like, is there even a shot for them to make the playoffs? And secondly, do they think they have a shot? It's two different questions that might have the same answer. So I'm going to stay away, but I will be interested to see how Shanahan tries to scheme up some plays for good old Razorback.
All right, Monday Night Football, last game of the week. Cleveland at Denver. Denver -5.5. Over under is 41.5. I just come right out with that. I took the over in this game. I think that Cleveland's kind of figuring a little bit stuff out on offense. Again, it just could have been because they played the Steelers and that was their Super Bowl and everything else. But Bo Nix is definitely making a case, if not, should be the front runner for Rookie of the Year. When he gets those crazy eyes, the fucking light switch is coming on in his brain. So he's, looking like a stud. Cortland Sutton is everything they wanted Jerry Jeudy to be in Denver. So yeah, I mean, if they
Jerry
get their
Jeudy
run
revenge game.
going, then
I didn't even think about that.
yeah, it is.
He's going for 40.
And if they can get their run game going through Williams, I think they'll be able to. I think they'll be able to get some points going. But 41.5 seems like the right number. I know that under prime time, yada yada. I mean, I could be totally butt fucked on this one, but pardon my
But we
French.
weren't
But
using that
you know,
anymore.
I'm taking the over.
That take, Weaver. I like the over as well. The only reason I didn't pull the trigger on it, I thought it was maybe a trap because Denver just drags every single team down with them. But then again, you see them play the Falcons and they score 38. Like it's absurd. But I really do like the over. I think I'll take the over as well. I'm going to do a little more research, but again, check Twitter.
What's the over under at Weaver?
42 flat right now.
42.
41.5 is what I'm seeing.
I lean under. It feels like a letdown spot for this Cleveland offense. Like you said, coming off that Super Bowl at home, Jameis is playing good football right now. Don't get me wrong, but this Denver defense is different. Like we like Pittsburgh's defense, obviously, but this Denver defense they're different. And they're playing high level football. And maybe it's a little bit of a letdown spot for Denver too. I know they get to stay home, so that's the spot that gets me a little thrown off. Oh my god, look at this cameo.
He's
Yo.
getting ready. He's getting ready to. We'll run through our mortal locks, and then we have a guest picker coming up.
Hell
Oh
yeah,
my.
dude.
But yeah, I lean under. Maybe something I look at is the Cleveland under team total. Something I might take a look at. But that might be a little too cute.
Right. Going into our mortal locks here, I'll go over my mortal lock. I have Baltimore Philly under 50.5 points for that. I think the sports book is kind of pointing to a lot of explosive offense on that part, but both of their defenses are great. You have three MVP contenders in Saquon, Derrick Henry, and Lamar right now. But at the end of the day, both of these defenses are playing really good, and so I think that they're going to be able to hold each other points. The ball is going to be on the ground a lot in this game. And I think that it's going to be a lot of clock chewing. These defenses again are going to step up and keep that point total under 50.5, surprisingly to everybody else. But I think that that's really the play here.
Yeah, I kind of again let mine out of the gun too early. I wasn't even paying attention. I have Rams -2.5 as my mortal lock. I think this is the right side every which way against the Saints. I think the Saints are ass, and they just need to lose, dude. They need to lose. They have no business winning games, none. Rams -2.5 is the mortal.
Is the over 46.5 in Tampa Bay, Carolina?
I like it. I like that kind of.
That just came out of nowhere.
I know it's kind of out of left field, but
it's on the cloud.
We've talked about Bryce Young playing his best football. He looked really good in that Kansas City game, man. Like he was slinging the rock around. But their defense is still so bad. Like it goes underrated because it's a miracle that Kansas City only scored 30 points. That Carolina defense is so bad, probably the worst in the league. So I see a lot of points on Tampa Bay's side, so that's why I would lean Tampa Bay. But Carolina, their offense doesn't look too bad. They can run the ball with Chuba. They can run the ball with Jonathan Brooks. Bryce Young's playing good football. Their O-line is pretty good. Tampa Bay's defense is not that great. So 46.5, you get the key number of 47. I see maybe like a 27-20 game, maybe like a 27-24. So yeah, give me the over.
All right, we're going to go into our first guest pick of the day. Pardon the mic change in a second. It might sound a little shitty, but I'm taking my mic off, and we're going to have a guest picker here.
Are we not going to? I'll announce him then. Yeah. As he's getting ready over there, we've got DJ Ben Weave from La Tech, Louisiana.
Someone
Tech.
play a song. Someone play a song.
Take It Off by Fisher.
Nobody play a song. Nobody play a song. All right, guys, this thing's going to feed families.
Oh, no, hold on. Time out.
Here we go.
Time out. It's a parlay?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right, go ahead.
All right, it's got 14 legs on it.
Wait. Okay. Are they all money line spreads or overs?
You've got spreads, money lines, touchdown scores.
Oh,
you've got it all.
Hit us with it.
Okay. All right. You're going to start off simple. You got Lions money line. Okay. I mean, that's a gimme. That's a gimme.
Can't miss.
Write this down.
Can't miss.
Lions money line is leg one.
Yeah. You got Lions money line, and you got to pick a touchdown score. So I had to do Monty. I think Monty's, it's an easy primetime Thanksgiving day.
Montgomery touchdown.
I like it.
Okay. Hopefully, I pray Cowboys spread at 3.5.
Oh, I don't like.
Got to cover it.
Dallas 3.5.
It's a little scary, okay? But I did no touchdown scores on that one. It's too risky to pick and choose against my own team. But
yeah, he's a Cowboys fan, by the way.
You're a Saints fan.
Moving in, you got the Dolphins Packers game. Packers money line. Josh Jacobs is scoring. Okay,
Green Bay
plain and simple.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, and then you got enough of that. We go to the Cardinals and the Vikings. Aaron Jones, anytime TD score, he's been on fire. He's had the games, and Minnesota's taken the win. I've got the Seahawks covering the 1.5 spread against the Jets, and I've got the Chiefs beating Vegas. I've got the Falcons winning Okay, they hear swag surfing coming on in Atlanta. The Chargers are not going to know what to do with themselves.
That's
Okay,
insane.
You got Commanders money line. Will Levis is the worst player I've ever seen in the history of my life. Okay, Commanders money line. You got Tampa Bay Bucks money line. Okay, against the Panthers. You may think Bryce Young may have it back. That dude's never going to have it back. They need to kill that guy. Okay, and then you've got Rams and Saints. I mean, this is a complete mid-off. Okay, I've got Saints money line. There, every time the Saints win, murder rate.
Dude, it keeps
murder
getting
rate
worse
goes
and
down.
worse.
The murder rate goes down. I'm telling you, they need that, and it's gonna be a great little Thanksgiving Christmas bonanza for them down there. Okay, they're gonna have a blast. So that's it for me.
What's the
That's
total
it.
odds on that?
You got $10 to $9,000.
Oh my god. Let me put it in on
Okay?
draft.
I mean, dude, I'm sitting here. I've been just thinking about it throughout the day. I've had
How
nothing
much
to
did
do.
you put on this? $10?
I mean, I'm going to put $10.
To win
I'm
9.
going.
Wait, Ben, can I ask you something?
What?
How long did it take you to cook this parlay?
That was about 45 minutes.
Dude.
And I was playing Black Ops 6 Nuketown 24/7, and it was hitting me every time I was playing.
Oh, that's
like a new one.
he was in flow state when he cooked this.
He wasn't
Oh,
close to.
shit.
I was. Okay.
I think-
working on those guns over there.
I think my favorite part is that on the podcast we were like, "Oh, Will Levis is playing some good football," and he's like, "Will Levis is the worst football player I've ever seen."
Wait, so you have two
Mine
TD
too.
scores in the same game?
Which one?
Jacobs and Aaron Jones?
No,
Oh,
No,
sorry.
what?
No, Cardinals played Vikings.
Sorry.
Casual.
No, it was an accident. I'm
Yeah.
looking at
I
the
mean,
list of
look,
the
guys. There's a lot of the amount of parlays I can make off of winning this is
games.
can make 900 of those.
good.
Shout out your social. Shout out your Spotify.
Yeah, guys, feel free. Feel free to follow Weave on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you listen to. 2 E's, 2 A's. Follow me on the Instagram.
One big V.
And if you do end up following me, maybe I'll send this little bit of money your way.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Look, we're due for a win. This last couple weeks have been terrible.
due.
I, for some reason, thought Herbert could throw a football, but he just can't. So I've been in a drought for the past couple days, but it is time.
The guy
Come
who's on a
back.
drought,
It's
trust him. Hold on, I'm gonna put this.
It's Turkey Day. The Mayflower didn't come all the way over here for no reason.
Wait, let me see this. Let me double check it
Wait,
so I
this
can
dude-
give Sam the entire breakdown. Sam, you ready? The entire breakdown. Detroit Lions money line. David Montgomery touchdown.
Oh, Ezekiel Elliott. And
He also has an Ezekiel Elliott anytime
Jesus
touchdown score.
Christ. Yo, not gonna lie, I had that in a parlay earlier today. I had Zeke Elliott, Sam Laporta, and I think it was Zeke, Sam Laporta, and Jalen Waddle.
That's what. All right, wait.
It was like $10 to win $1,000.
I just want to put out. Please gamble responsibly. Please.
Wait, I missed the Zeke touchdown. That's what's throwing me off.
Please.
I think this.
Yeah, it's Lions.
This is
Montgomery
responsible, yes.
touchdown, Cowboys minus 3.5. Ezekiel Elliott touchdown. Packers money line. Jacobs touchdown.
This-
Aaron Jones touchdown. Vikings money line. Seattle Seahawks minus 1.5. Kansas City Chiefs money line at minus 170 or minus 750 just for that money line.
I got it.
Atlanta Falcons money line.
10 to win $9,157.
I mean, look, we're due. We're due, guys.
I like
It's
this.
gonna go. It's
I
gonna
like
go.
this. I really like this. That is scary.
What are you pointing at? Nobody else knows what you're
Yeah.
saying. This
I
is.
like Detroit and David Montgomery. I like Green Bay and Josh Jacobs. I like Aaron Jones in Minnesota. Zeke and the cow. That I was leaning Cowboys minus 3.
He's only going to score if it's on the 1 yard line. That's the only way he's going to score.
Yeah, until he fumbles it through the end zone. Kansas
I
City
would-
money
I-
line. It's minus 675. I mean, I really don't hate all of it except for Falcons and Saints. But I'll put it in. What does $1 win you? $900? Yeah, I'll put $1 on
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If you're feeling risky and that'll bet,
it. That's not risky to begin with.
San Fran and Bills are going to go into overtime. Oh, dude, that's $10 to $167,000.
167 grand.
No,
wins
that's
it.
$10 to $0.
If you're feeling risky, like all 14 of these legs are guaranteed. Oh my god, this is
No,
great.
I understand it now. So I've got it.
I
I
understand. it.
understand it now.
Yeah.
All right, Ben.
Let's
All right.
thank our
Appreciate
guest
it.
picker.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Gamble
Ben Weaver.
responsibly.
Hey guys, go listen to DJ Ben Weave.
Thank you,
Of
Ben.
course.
Thanks.
Tail if you like money. Tail if you like money.
Taylor,
Oh my
DJ Ben
God.
Weaver.
That was
Oh my
good.
God.
That was good.
All right.
That was
All right.
good.
All right, people.
On that note,
that wraps up.
on that note,
Now, dollar.
Socials.
I can't even responsibly tell you to put $10 on that. Like,
Bro, if that hits, I'll retire. If that hits, I'm done.
I put it. I
I'll
put.
come here
podcast
forever.
is over.
I put $1 on it.
If that hits,
The podcast.
more power to you.
All right, take us home.
We'll put it on the Twitter so anybody else who's feeling risky can lay
Or
it
if you
out
just
there,
want
but-
14
all right.
locks.
Just, yeah. Our
It's crazy that it jumps to that it jumped from what was it $9,000 to if somehow that the overtime hits, then it jumps to 160.
Overtime-
it's not crazy.
Overtime's
That's not
like plus
crazy.
2,000,
That's
dude.
not. All right, take us home, Luke.
Get us out of
All
here.
right. Gamble responsibly.
Please.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy time with the family. Don't ruin the day of thanks because we gave you some picks that you might not agree with or might not hit. We love you.
Yeah, don't talk gambling with your older relatives. Just talk.
My dad called me obsessed today on the car ride from the airport.
Upset or obsessed?
Obsessed with sports. And I told him I'm just like every other guy in the world
Yeah.
that watches football and has a little bit of money to spend.
All right. Well, please. Well,
right,
we have
now.
to keep saying gamble responsibly. Just enjoy the football, man. If you're gambling to the point where you're not enjoying the football, you're not doing it right.
Nope. Again, happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys later.
Later.